Alright, welcome to Tsukie's Encounters. My name is Tsukii-Sensei, and this is going to be the first episode of the show. So basically, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Tsukie's Encounters is a part of Project 0 to 1. It is a mental health social media awareness project which aims to bring awareness of mental health and wellness across many fandom communities, whether it's anime, video game communities, you name it. The project also sets out to promote being a part of fandom communities as a way of having a more positive lifestyle, a more beneficial lifestyle, a more fulfilling lifestyle. So that's the main gist of it, and today I'm going to be interviewing Auracosplay. So welcome to the show.
Hi.
I'm really honored that you are the first guest.
I'm honored that you'd have me as the first guest.
Exactly. So tell me about yourself. How did Auracosplay came to be?
Okay, well, Auracosplay, that was a name I came up with a long time ago. For a while, I've been attending conventions under the artist alias Pink Aura. And then I kind of did cosplay here and there, but I wasn't serious about it at all. I was like, here, there, everywhere kind of thing. And I remember I made a Tumblr. I just typed in Auracosplay just to save it. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll use this one day. And I just kind of tossed it aside. I was like, yeah, we'll just deal with this later. But I honestly didn't do a lot of cosplay. It was very, just casual. I commissioned a cosplay once, and then summer of 2016 Icon, I just got into Love Live, and I went to one of the photo shoots that was hosted by another group at Icon for Love Live photo shoot. And while I was there, I met four amazing girls, but three would later become really great friends. And that's Astra, Lunya, and Iji, and they're all members of Nonettes, and that's how we kind of met. I met them. Well, I knew Astra from beforehand. We kind of cosplayed the same fandoms in years prior, but didn't really talk a lot. But with Lunya and Iji, I met them. That was the first time I ever met them. And on Sunday, so the photo shoot had been on Saturday, and on Sunday, Astra came back up to my art table, and she goes, "Hey, did you want to join a Love Live group?" And I was like, "Oh, dancing?" And she was like, "No." And then I was like, okay, sure, I guess. So that's kind of how our group formed. And there was another member at the time, DJ, but she didn't want to dance, so she ended up leaving the group. So it was there was us, and then there was another member, Niku. I never met her at Icon, but the other girls had. So there was the five of us that kind of started Nonettes, and ever since then, it's kind of just blown up. There's been a lot of cosplay since then. I started doing a little bit on my personal account, and then December 2016, I was like, yeah, time to, you know what, I'm really getting into this stuff. I have 2 or 3 cosplays now. I'm gonna make a cosplay account. And then I just remembered that old Tumblr I typed in, and I was like, Auracosplay, and that was what became of it. Wow.
And then now today, it seems that Auracosplay has grown so much as well too, with the growth of Nonettes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now a lot of people, I guess, around Winnipeg and maybe some other places, they know of it.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, people are like, oh, I've heard of you before. I'm like, ooh, really? I mean, I only really use Instagram as a platform. I've tried to move into Facebook. I kind of always forget about it. I have a Twitter account, but it's kind of just a mixture of everything, talking to my friends and posting art and a little bit of cosplay. So mostly my platform is built on Instagram. So if there are Winnipeggers on Instagram, or in the cosplay anime community who are on Instagram, they might know about me, they might not, I don't know.
What's your favorite cosplay anyway?
My favorite, oh my gosh.
Yes.
There's so many. Probably it's my Elise. Elise is not a Love Live character. She's a character from a video game called Fire Emblem Fates to be specific. And I did not want to half-ass her. I commissioned that cosplay. It totaled about $600 Canadian, and it was done by a lovely seamstress, Black Rattle Designs. She's based out of just outside of Toronto, I believe. And I first wore it last Icon 2017. And it's like, oh, it's just beautiful. The wig is like, it's huge. It's such a pain to wear, honestly, because it's a legitimate corset made out of pleather, and the skirt's big, and it's poofy, and there's big leg warmer things almost. It's hard to explain.
Oh,
and she's these giant pigtails. And, in total, the cosplay cost me about $700. Around $700.
Wow.
Because the wig is an Arda wig. It's from Arda Canada, and it was about $130, and then the contacts were about $30. And then I never factor makeup into it, but if I were to factor makeup into it, it'd be a little bit more. But I didn't buy anything specific like makeup wise for that cosplay except for really the contacts. But definitely my favorite cosplay, not just because it's the most expensive and I've spent the most on it, but because I really love Elise as a character. And I had so much fun wearing it last year, and I'm bringing it to more conventions. I'm bringing it to next Icon. I'm bringing it to Anime North in May.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to wear her again. She's such a hassle to wear, but I love wearing her so much.
I can't wait to see you, Elise. I'll be in Anime North myself doing some panels as well too.
Awesome.
Yeah. You mentioned that with the No Net, initially you guys weren't dancing, but however you guys integrated many of the dances. How did that come about? Like, the dancing?
I don't remember, honestly.
You don't remember?
No, because you know what? It kind of just like happened, because like I said, so Sunday of Icon, Astra comes up to me and she goes, oh, do you want to join a Love Live group? I'm like, oh, yes, dancing. And she's like, no, not dancing. And then, so she got my Twitter handle, and she had a Twitter group chat, the 5 of us, or at that time it was 6, and then it later dropped down to 5. And I don't know, I just remember joining the Twitter chat, and we were just talking about our first dance. We had 2 dances in mind, and then we ended up picking Snow Halation. And I was never actually going to be Hanukkah. Because I had the most dance experience, they were like, okay, so whatever song we do first, you're being the center. And we picked Snow Halation. So then I'm Hanukkah, and now I own 15 Hanukkah cosplays. And I'm in Hanukkah hell, so it's okay.
And right now you are
And now I am as Hanukkah. Yes, she's my favorite character now. Before I used to be Katari. Katari was the first character I latched onto when I first started playing the app. I was like, oh my god, she's so cute. And then, like I said, once I started cosplaying Hanukkah, it was just like, I fell in love with her character. I remember rewatching the anime and just being like, yes, she's so good.
What about Hanukkah that made you appeal to her more as you cosplay her?
Honestly, I love her energy so much.
Yeah?
I find that I can match that, and the fact that she's a little bit like ditzy from time to time. I don't like to admit it, but I am also a little bit ditzy from time to time. I'll say things and I'll go, oh, okay. And also the fact she really likes bread. I too really like bread.
You like bread, eh?
I do. Though I associate more with Katuri's favorite food and disliked food, because her favorite food is a cheesecake, and I love cheesecake, and her disliked food is steak, and I hate steak.
Oh.
So I was also like, oh, I loved Katuri,
So we're gonna get more into more deeper stuff about in this interview. We're gonna be talking more about the mental health and wellness within fandoms. I just want to give you kind of a forewarning. If there's anything that you don't feel comfortable sharing, please, you don't have to share these, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. So when you hear mental health and wellness, what comes to mind?
Generally, when I think of mental health, or then being good and on a good side, having a good day, I think of being like being genuinely happy, and just being like in a good spot, and just, you know, not worrying about too many things, and just having a good day all around.
And if being happy, if we're gonna go through that perspective, what does that look like to you?
Being happy, what does it look like?
Yeah, like what in terms of defining what mental health means to you, what does that kind of look like for you anyway?
I mean, pretty much what it says right on the tin. For like I said, for myself personally, I know that like when I have a day when I genuinely wake up and I feel like, wow, I'm happy to I'm not sad about anything. Not that I'm always sad about things, but it's even just like having like all that social time. I'm not super good at being social actually, but No Nets has definitely helped me a lot, especially. And I find that like I always look forward to our practices that we have weekly, and then I find that like being with them makes me happy as well. And just having that time, and I know that there's like scientific proof about like all the enzymes in your brain that occur when you do physical activity. Obviously it does improve your mood, and I definitely have experienced that myself before. I mean, I find that dancing was a big part of my life. I grew up dancing. I started dancing when I was 4. So I know that like a lot of physical activity does make me happy. I find that I've grown so close with all the members of No Nets, past and previous and current members, that like it was just always like a happy, fun family party time that we always got together. And I mean, we were friends before we are a dance team, before anything professional, anything like that. And I think also having that boundary of being friends before a competitive group was always something good to have, because like my friends that I used to do competitive with, we were a competitive group. I don't talk to very many of them anymore. That was what we were mostly focused on. Now in a group where we're friends first, it's where I'm still friends with everybody who's ever been in the group, and it's good to have that kind of a difference, I would think.
So I'm hearing that a lot of the social connections and a lot of the relationships you have, in your case with the fellow members of No Nets, that really contributes towards like having more of a positive lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, you know, just because like I guess we clicked really well in the very beginning, and just finding those kinds of friends. Because I mean, for conventions, like I said, I met most of them at a convention for the first time. I wasn't actually. I mean, I had my art table and I had my art table partner, but slowly that friend group kind of fizzled out until it was just myself and my friend group. Just because, like life gets in the way sometimes, and like people have to do things, and I still do see some of those friends, but I mean, it came to the point where I was I didn't have a lot of friends who were in the cosplay/convention community, and then so like I met like I said, Astra and Lunia and Iji, and it was just one of those things that like we clicked super well. I talk to probably Lunia one of the most now. I do consider her like one of my best friends, and I feel like having that connection with someone, having a best friend like that, it really does help and contribute to having, and like just looking forward. Like I know I don't see them all the time, but I feel like when you're in high school, obviously you see people all the time, and that's why you're friends, because you're seeing them all the time. But these are friends that now I've chosen, and I only see them once, twice a week, and we're we have a lot more of the same interests. Like a lot of my friends from high school, some of them kind of liked anime, but none of them to like the extent that I did.
Oh yes.
But then I found these other friends who they love cosplaying and they love anime and they love the same anime that I do. Especially in like the case of Lunia, we both have that one side where we're like, oh, we love cutesy anime, and then on the other side we're like Walking Dead. Blood, gore, guts, like we love that kind of horror stuff too. So it was a lot of that. I mean, same with Ichi, but I don't talk to her as often. But I just find that like even just having someone or multiple people that you can connect with really well, and like looking forward to seeing them is always a good thing. I mean, because I probably know that like, oh, they're gonna be the highlight of my weekend kind of thing.
It's just something to look forward to, something to really invest your time and keep busy with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be almost a semi-professional dancer.
Yeah.
So that's what I spent most of my time doing for 15 years of my life. And then kind of now it's become, like I find that I love cosplay a lot more. I've even shifted a little bit away from my artwork. I do still draw a little bit here and there, but I find that I love cosplay more, and just being able to have that community of people who are also really enjoy doing what I love doing as well. It's really satisfying, I find.
Nice. I know there's some people out there in the community, however, that may feel, I guess, a little bit more isolated, and they come across many of those problems. So I just wanted to ask you, from your perspective, what do you think is kind of like the biggest, some of the issues you see within fandom communities when you're talking about mental health and wellness?
Biggest issues?
Like some of the issues that you can
Okay.
point out, yes.
I find that elitism is actually...
Elitism?
Yeah, it's super high up on the list. In considering fandoms that I used to be in, people would always, be like, I was here first, or X fandom is better than X fandom. Years ago when Homestuck was still relevant, myself and my friends, we were all into Homestuck at the time, and there was a huge war between two fandoms. It was between Homestuck and Hetalia. And Hetalia is an anime and Homestuck is a webcomic, and it was like a big thing. And then there were even times I remember reading things back when I used to be super active on Tumblr where people were like, well, I've been here for this long and I remember this and I fought these battles, and it's like, really, does that even really matter? Like, we're all friends, we all like the same stuff. But I definitely find that's one of the biggest challenges in fandom, mostly because, yeah, like I said, a lot of people, or they try and challenge, they're like, oh, I like this character more, things like that. I've run into a lot, and I find it definitely doesn't help, especially when you're newer to something. Could you imagine that, like, walking into something that you're, oh, I really like this, and then the fandom's like, well, we're better than you because we've been here longer. And then you're just kind of like, oh, alright, I guess I'll go the other way now. Like, I find that it would push somebody away more than accept them, and I find that fandom should be accepting, being like, wow, another person, come join everything we love, kind of thing, right?
Exactly. And like you said, though, like, there are some fandoms that seem to be a little bit more closed off. And even if you see people inside different fandoms, like, you still see some of that separation, that kind of like split.
Yeah.
So definitely there needs to be like a call for more belonging,
Yeah, more acceptance.
More acceptance, there you go. Yeah. more acceptance, and I'm sure if there's more acceptance, then a lot of people will benefit from fandoms by developing lots of relationships, a lot of positive relationships with those people.
I mean, it can start with something as simple as having like the same favorite character kind of thing, right? And then you can bond over that. But if people are pushy away, they're like, oh, they're my favorite character, you can't have them. It's kind of very pushy.
Ownerism, basically,
yeah,
right?
kind of like that, yeah. Oh no, pretty much like that. A lot of fandoms are still active because there are the diehard fans who are still there all the time, who don't leave because they love the characters so much, kind of stuff. And I find that those are the people who are also more willing to accept more people to come into their fandom as well, because they're like, oh, it's all, there's nothing here anymore. Oh, people who want to come here? Yes, come here, come join. And I find that even like when fandoms do become largely popular, that's when they become a lot more hostile, and then slowly that I find that also leads to their demise, because they become so big and popular, and they become kind of hostile towards newcomers, and then since nobody's coming in, and then people start like losing interest, and then it kind of just dies down a lot.
So what can we take away from that then? If we're gonna address some of those issues, what can we take away from building a more inclusive fandom communities in order for people to have those opportunities to build those relationships and to really improve their lives in a positive way?
I mean, I find it's like a lot of it's always inclusion. It's like even with you're working with small children, and you always want to include everybody in the same activity. You don't want anybody to be left out or ostracized. So I find that inclusion, if you witness something, like for example seeing something like that, somebody's being hostile or just standoffish even in a way towards like a newcomer to a fandom, or maybe like for example like the cosplay community, somebody who maybe can't cosplay as well as other people, who don't have the funds or the means to be able to cosplay as perfect a cosplay as say your #1 top cosplayer ever, just to like talk to them even. I kind of regret that myself. I remember walking around before in Love Live cosplay a couple conventions ago, and seeing some other Love Live cosplayers, and I figured they're Love Live cosplayers, and their cosplay wasn't as good, and I mean myself personally, I'm always nervous. I don't like talking to new people, but I kind of like, part of me wishes I had, because I did want to go talk to them and be like, oh hi, you guys are cosplaying Love Live too, come enjoy, it's such a good anime and fandom, it's awesome. But I was just so shy, so I was just like, Love Live, walk away.
Alright, so we're gonna get to the end of the interview here. What do you have to say for those within fandom communities about mental health and wellness?
I say surround yourself with the people that you interact with best. Find the people who not necessarily always have the same favorite characters as you, but people who generally, outside of the one fandom, maybe you have like mutual fandoms that you're also interested. Find those people who are willing to talk about it and, you know, talk until the wee hours of the morning sometimes, and to talk about that. It doesn't, you don't have to think about anything else, I don't find. As long as you find people who you click with the best, the people who are more willing to, you know, be your friend, exactly. And to try and surround yourself with those people, the people who are more warming and welcoming towards you, and that kind of stuff. And not that to say that people would willingly go and surround themselves with people who are hostile and mean all the time, just in fact, like even like and bringing your friends with you, some other friends that you have in different fandoms, so bring them into new fandoms with you and kind of build a friend group around that, and just to have multiple different things to talk about and to expand, like from just you may meet in one fandom and then discover you have another fandom together, but then kind of I like this thing, maybe you should try this thing, and then if they're willing to kind of be like that, and then kind of have that back and forth to just connect and make friends and try and keep those relationships lasting, honestly. I find that I am very regretful of a lot of relationships that I made, even just online. Friends that I miss that I made who live halfway across the world, who live in New Zealand and things like that, who I became friends with over Halo years and years ago.
Well, I remember those years.
Yeah, exactly. Becoming friends with those kinds of people, and then I miss talking to them, honestly, because they were such good friends, and I feel like I'm kind of always kind of regretful that I didn't bring them along with me into my other fandoms, because they were such good friends, and just to have them again would be so nice.
Alright, so thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Tune in next month as I interview an up-and-coming Twitch streamer by the name of Be Flattened. Please sure to follow on Instagram, Project 0 to 1, follow on Facebook, follow on YouTube, and hit that like and follow button. And that's all for today, so I'll see you guys later.